Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Q Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Nike, Regal Cinemas, Le Macaron, Bass Pro Shops, International Diamond Center, Prime and Pearl, and the HBC's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, now serving brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. We'll see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. I'm going to head back to the Titan MR hotline, and we're joined by senior writer for FloridaGators.com, who covers all of these sports for the Mighty Gators, Scott Carter. Good morning, Scott. How are you, buddy?
Shane, what's going on, man? Yep. A little bouncing around, a little bit here, a little bit there. Go over to Pro Day today. It was at baseball yesterday. Wrote about a swimmer. You know how it goes.
So rumor has it at Pro Day today, Chris Harry, Scott Carter at a 40-yard dash.
Well, that would certainly be entertaining for the audience. I don't know if any NFL scouts would actually pay attention, but for everyone else there, it would be some good entertainment.
Yes, indeed. That starts today. It's a big day for all those guys. As if I'm aware, I believe all our guys are participating today, correct?
Yeah, 16 to my knowledge. Obviously, the big ones are Zach Carter and Kyrie Elam and Damian Pierce. It's a smaller group than in some years, Shane, but there'll still be some guys who get drafted. You know, the Gators produce draft picks every year pretty much.
Wow. Okay. So one of our listeners just pulled up my stats from the combine.
Really?
So I ran the 40 and a 4.89. Okay. Let me back up. Scott, back then, I told him I picked up a football the day before I got on the plane to go to Indianapolis. I weighed in, I think, at 180.
180.
My bench press I did not do. But let's see, vertical, I was only 32. I thought I was 33 and a half. I'm going to have to question that. Let's see. Yeah, see, Pro Day, we didn't have a Pro Day when I played. I'll have to look through all that. So good. Look, I got great listeners. They look up stats for us. That's awesome.
That's pretty impressive. What was it, 4.89?
Yeah. That's with zero training and doing nothing.
Oh, zero training. Okay. Well,
I literally, Scott, I did nothing.
Oh, I believe it.
I was playing golf, and I didn't really throw the football a lot even before I went to training camp because I was one of those guys that I knew I was going to be accurate. I didn't really have to do it. Yeah. But I probably should have worked on my 40 time, probably should have tried to gain a little bit of weight and all that kind of stuff. So good work, Chris. Appreciate you looking that up. All right, let's start with baseball. Win game one behind Barco. And then the last two games have been batting practice for the Tigers.
It really was, man. I mean, it kind of, I think, brought to picture for everybody Kevin O'Sullivan's kind of worst fears about this team. He knows he has a number one starter in Hunter Barco who can give the Gators a chance to beat anybody in the country on Friday nights. But then Saturday and Sunday, you eventually have to get some other guys behind him. And we've seen little flashes from Brandon Sproat and Timmy Manning. And, of course, I think the big issue right now is, the first weekend of the season, they had the 6'9" freshman, Pierce Capola, the left-hander. He did pretty well in that Sunday starter slot, but he's got some back issues and he's been sidelined. So, and then, of course, when you get into that bullpen, Shane, it's a dicey situation. There's, you can overuse certain guys, and then some guys are just not getting it done. I mean, Sully was very disappointed yesterday. He said he's seen them have a game like on Saturday, of course. In baseball, everybody's going to have one. But he couldn't remember two back-to-back games since he's been at Florida where they got pounded like that. He says, look, we've got we can't make excuses. I mean, this is who we have. You're not going to go out and make a trade or anything today or call up somebody for the minors. He believes in their talent, but he says they're not making pitches, man. So you got to make some pitches. And I'm a baseball guy, and I love the oddities of the game. Shane, how about this from yesterday? They hit 8 batters. 8.
That's crazy.
But here's what's even crazier. They walked nobody. So they hit 8 batters, but they didn't walk anybody. So when they were wild, they were so wild, they were pegging people. It was just that kind of afternoon for the Gators.
And I thought I was telling JC this. I thought because he was talking about, after Barco, they're young. But Sully did come out and say, yeah, we're young, but that's no excuse. I mean, if you're a pitcher, you can pitch. And I agree with that 100% because I was telling JC, it's not like they're having to read defenses and all react to that. You call a fastball, hit your spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what he said. I mean, Sully, if you've been around him, you know him. He's a no-nonsense guy. You're at Florida for a reason, and once he put you on that roster, he's expecting you to do what he thinks you can do and what you've shown him you can do. So when you don't do it, you're going to get called out a little bit. And, I mean, I understand that. Yesterday, you had some guys in the bullpen who come in. It's 4-0 game, and Florida can certainly still overcome that, but then they gave up, a 7-run, 6th inning, and they're hitting batters left and right. It was just a bad performance all the way around, an opportunity to really kind of take, after winning that first game, to separate yourself from one of the teams in the SEC who you're going to be competing with in standings later on in the year and postseason and stuff. And of course, LSU responded. He said it looked like LSU kind of imposed their will on the Gators, and that did not sit well with Sully, obviously.
That is true. We got a Facebook Live here brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. John asks, Scott, who gets to start tomorrow night against the Semis?
I don't know. He was not in the mood to forecast ahead. I don't know. So that's a good question. I really, at this point, don't know. I mean, you got to find somebody among that the young group of pitchers, though, who can go out there and regain some confidence because, a lot of those guys after Saturday and Sunday, they're probably not feeling too good about themselves right now. So it'll be a chance to go out, and for somebody, it's a great opportunity against Florida State. Big stage, going to be a big crowd in Jacksonville. But again, it's Sully's looking for some answers right now at that pitching, really the whole spot behind Barco. I mean, hey, you've got Slater, who started yesterday. He's been really good at the back end of the bullpen. Blake Purnell's been probably one of their obviously top relievers. Tyler Nesbitt's done well, but Sproat and Manning, they've just been here and there. So I don't know, man. Good question.
It was nice to see a legitimate SEC baseball crowd this weekend.
Yeah. How about that Saturday night crowd? 8,000 and 406, biggest baseball crowd in Florida history. And of course, it beat the biggest crowd, I think, by more than 1,000 because, used to they could get a near 6,000 in McKeithen. But there was a game earlier this season when they got like 6,600 into a Florida ballpark, and they blew that away. And that's what it is, man. I mean, LSU, Florida, that's who the Gators beat back in 2017 for the College World Series. And they got a great rivalry beyond that. And it's fun to see because, Shane, I mean, Gainesville everybody always wants to know, is Gainesville, would they really support, the baseball program with the new stadium? I think we're seeing that, yeah, you put a good team out there, get good series, people are going to come out. Unfortunately, they got disappointed on Saturday night, but they'll be back. But yeah, it was great to see it. That's a great atmosphere. You've been over there for a few games?
Yeah, I didn't go this weekend, but yes, I was glad to see the pictures because, I grew up in Mississippi, so I know what Dudy Noble's like on a Saturday night. What Ole Miss, Ole Miss was the number 1 team in the country, and they got swept by Tennessee this weekend. So yeah, SEC has got great baseball, as we all know. John has a question here brought to you by Meldon Law. Do you like the format of the FSU game played 3 times a year on a Tuesday, or would you rather see a weekend series like we do with Miami?
Me personally, I kind of like it like this because it just offers a little variety throughout the season. I mean, you're going to have all those SEC teams and series that you just mentioned. And you've got this Miami series early in the season, which is always a good kind of just a testing mark for the team. What kind of team might you have is for both programs. So I don't mind the Florida State series, one at home, one away, one in Jacksonville. I mean, of course, if it was a weekend series, whether it's in Tallahassee or here, it would be a fantastic atmosphere, 3 straight days. So but I can see both sides of it. But I think just with the way the schedule is, Shane, and just trying to fit in some, teams that you can hopefully beat early in the season, having that Miami schedule, and then going into your SEC schedule, you just that's how they do it with Florida State. Just spread them out.
Hey, Chris Doring Mortgage. They do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. Speaking with Scott Carter here on the Titan More Hotline. All right, softball loses 2 out of 3 to the Volunteers. They get the final game yesterday afternoon. I didn't get to go. I usually go to a lot of the softball games, yet to go here in the last couple of weeks. Your thoughts on what's going on with softball?
Well, I mean, they've been
still really like number 6 in America.
Yeah, I mean, they've been really good. I think they got tested against Tennessee on a different level. Tennessee's obviously good. They dropped a series. I mean, I'm sure it's not a panic time or anything far from that for Tim Walton. They'll just regroup. I think, and I'm not plugged into softball as much as I am baseball, Shane. But, just from talking to people, it seems like this team is, more of an offensive team than some of the past ones. And I think the pitching might be, not on par to some of their past great teams, but the offense is up. So it's a different kind of Florida team maybe than we've seen. And we know Tim Walton, he's got this team built around speed, one of the fastest teams you'll see. They're making things happen, offensive that we haven't seen in a while with just by using their speed. So, again, I don't think it's, like I said, any time to panic. You're going to have this series that if they drop the next 2 or 3 series, then I think it'll be a little more alarming. But right now, the lost 2 out of 3 to a good team, just like the baseball. LSU came into town. Disappointing, but Gators, 17-7 in baseball, 3-3 in the SEC. Still a lot of games to play.
That is true. John asked here, not John, Andy, I'm sorry, on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melon. Scott, Gators men's swim team places 3rd at the NCAAs. Bobby Fink smokes the field. Is he not one of the best athletes on campus?
No doubt. He's one of the best athletes in the world. When you look back at what he did in the Olympics and the way he did it, man, he was just those comebacks. And I mean, he's a intriguing kid, a Florida kid. He's probably going to at least have another Olympics or 2 in him. He did that, Shane, with missing the SEC's championships when he was, he tested, I guess, positive for COVID and had to go into protocol. So, what he's done, and Kieran Smith, and that's one thing that, I was over there at the swimming complex the other day. I was talking to this diver, Anton Seversky, for the story. And we were just talking. He's a kid who's from Ukraine, but he took a wild shot to come to Florida. He didn't think he could ever get to Florida in swimming, and he's here as a diver. And he had no idea that that's where Caleb Dressel was. That's where Kieran Smith. So when he starts getting around there, he's like, holy cow. So you kind of hit the jackpot, man. If you're a swimmer, you're starting to train in the same pool as all these guys. And Bobby Fink's certainly one of those.
Yeah, there's no question. Those swimmers, man, there's something to them. They're a little bit different than everybody else, all the work they have to put in.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, let's switch gears a little bit. I don't know how much spring practice you've watched. I've been to 2. And I was telling people earlier today, I don't know where he's been. I don't know how many years he's been on the roster because I never have a roster. I just had to ask somebody. But Dejon Reynolds, to me, is a dude that I like at wide receiver a lot.
Yeah. He's a guy that you look at him, he's physically gifted. I mean, he came in, he just hasn't had much of a chance, Shane, in that position group. And I think everything's open. So he's a guy that I can understand catching your attention. I've only been out there a couple times myself, going back out there today. I've been out of town a little bit, but I'll keep my eye on him. But, him and Jamarcus Weston, Xavier Henderson, Trent Whittemore, let's face it, that's been a position of strength for the Gators under, Dan Mullen when he was here. And now there's a lot of question marks there because, you lost Copeland, the transfer, and you've lost all those guys to the NFL the last couple of years. So Dejon Reynolds, the door is wide open, and sounds like you'd like to throw him a pass or two then, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, I just saw him, I didn't stay long. I was just watching one-on-ones and pass Skelly and things of that nature. And I just like the way he runs his routes. I like the way he caught the ball. He looks to be the shiftiest guy we have.
Yeah.
We have a lot of these big guys that are somewhat stiff at times, but, I had to ask somebody, I said, he's a little shifty guy. They go, no, he's still like 6'1", but he doesn't look 6'1" to me. He looks a little shorter than that.
Yeah.
So anyway, he may never play a damn down. I don't know. But I tell you this, I like what I saw. And like you said, sometimes when a new staff comes in, some guys get more opportunities than others. And, as you said, Copeland transferred. Whittemore, he's been solid. He's still he's wearing an orange jersey, so he can only do so much, but he's solid.
Yeah.
But Dejon looked like that guy that can make people miss. So I don't know. We'll
they're
see.
getting good coaching too, because I did watch Kerry Colbert out there one day just doing the receivers. He was very into it, man. He was running down the field with them as they were doing routes. I don't know if I've seen that active a coach lately. So
he wears cleats. He wears cleats and runs the routes.
Yes. So that he is into it, and they're getting some good instruction out there.
Yeah. So, all right. So we got a text here on the Titan MR text line. It comes from Jimmy. Jimmy says, Scott, who at the quarterback position has looked the best to you? I've already given my thoughts earlier in the program. Anthony is listed as the guy. We know what he is. But the more I watch Jack Miller, the more I like him.
Yeah.
Do I think he's going to be the starter? No, unless Anthony struggles. But he's a guy that's extremely accurate and fundamentally sound.
Yeah. Well, you're actually a little bit ahead of me on this because I watched Miller a couple of times I was out there, but I'm going to watch him today closer. So you maybe have seen him more recently than I have. And, he did look good the first couple of days I saw him. Richardson was, to me, also looked a lot improved. First of all, the first day I was out there, the first day of spring camp, I mean, I really did not expect Anthony to be doing as much as he did. And, he got cleared the day before. He was moving around pretty well. And I thought his arm, he looked good. But Miller's a totally different kind of quarterback. What's kind of unique to this, Shane, and it's interesting because, I don't know enough about what Billy Napier is going to do at Florida because he's going to have a different roster. But if you look at what he's done in his past, I could easily see this being a 60 to 70% kind of running team when you talk about the backs and the quarterback. So that bodes well for Anthony Richardson. Obviously, that's his style. But if you're going to use that passing game a lot, Jack Miller totally offers a different look. And I know fans always hate if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have Vinny. Right. Maybe once in a while it does work. And these guys are different. But we talked about that in the past with kind of like Emory and Kyle Trask. But Kyle was certainly more Miller, but Emory was more Anthony. So we have talked that kind of stuff before.
Yeah.
But I'm like you. I'll be surprised if Anthony is not the starting quarterback.
The only way Anthony's going to get pulled in a game is if he just is one hopping and overthrowing and not completing passes.
Yeah.
Because he's got so many other things he can bring to the table. Before we get out of here, John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melon, how do the running backs look? Is it Bowman or Lingard this year? I think they both will play, but I think your starting tailback will be the kid from Louisiana. I love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah. He was the guy the first day I watched most, and I'm totally like you. I said, "Oh, this guy's a player right here." He's a big back, got a big back end on him, big strong kid. He was a Sun Belt freshman of the year, and you're saying, "Well, that's not the SEC, all right," but you still got to be able to play. And I think he's going to fit in very nicely. I think he's instantly their best back.
When I was there Saturday, they put the running backs when they were throwing routes on air out wide to run routes. This dude can run routes and he can catch. The other two kind of scared me. Now, obviously, it's still early. They were learning. This kid knows the system, but dude, I don't even know his name. I just know he wears number 2, and he will be the starting tailback in my opinion.
Oh, remember to name them Montrell Johnson.
That's it, Montrell Johnson.
And I agree with you, Shane. I mean, I think he's the leader in the clubhouse. And, those other 2 guys, I know fans or, whenever they have the 5-star attached, everybody wants to know what's going on with them. And I think you're going to see both guys probably play. But again, I mean, it's a different game. And Billy Napier, he's got a lot of trust in this guy. I mean, that's why he's here.
Yep, I like him a lot. All right, Scott. Almost called you Chris, since y'all are going to have a race in the 40 today. Scott, appreciate your time, my man. We will talk to you soon.
All right, man. I'm getting ready to go type up my hamstring. I'll see you.
Make sure you stretch. Get stretching.
All right.
Scott Carter joining us on the Titan MR hotline. We're going to take our final time out, wrap up this Monday edition.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potuprashane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios at South State Bank. We understand that small businesses need a community business partner they can rely on. South State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking forward, member FDIC. I want to thank JC and Scott Carter for joining us on the Titan MR hotline. Don't forget, if you have any questions that you want to give to Trent to ask, Evan McPherson, kicker for the Cincinnati Bengals, will be on the program Wednesday. Shoot them to us on the Titan MR text line. This day in sports brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. They're hiring team members with all levels of experience. Give them a call today at 352-376-2366. This day in sports in 1999 at the TPC Players Championship, David Duvall wins by 2 strokes over Scott Gump. But the same day, David Duvall's dad won on the senior tour at the Emerald Coast Classics. That's pretty cool. That's brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Don't forget, as I just said, make sure you shoot your questions for Evan McPherson on the Titan MR text line. John says, surely QB, we're interviewing the HBC at Pro Day always gives a good interview. If the HBC shows up, we'll interview him for sure. No question about that. Hope you guys enjoyed today's program. If you want to check out the SEC, I think it's streaming on the SEC Network Plus. I don't think they're having any live stuff on the regular SEC Network, but we'll be doing it from 10:30 to 1:30, I believe. So I hope you enjoyed today's program. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.